Hey, beautiful people. This is part two of my QOVES facial analysis. I'm going to walk you through my aesthetic protocol, as well as my surgical report and my hairstyle suggestions. So let's start with the protocol. Let me download the PDF. It is pretty comprehensive. Mine was 16 pages. And I am going to share this too, so that way you could reference it and have an idea of what you can expect if you do decide to do this. I will say for the record, not affiliated with QOVES. I just thought that their marketing was pretty good, and so I do this myself. 16 pages. Let's go through this. Second page, just some disclaimers, policies, right? The third page, the introduction. Let me zoom in here. So these are the contents of my protocol. Yours may be shorter, yours may be more, but basically hair, eyes, the jaw, the whole 9 yards, as well as some recommendations. And they're approaching this from a cephalometric point of view. Not sure what that word means, but it sounds cool. And the majority of the report concerns itself with facial aesthetics and determining ideal cephalometric values and how they correspond to a 1 out of 10 scale of rated attractiveness by the layperson. All right. They are limitations, and understanding the results, they give 4 key points. The recommendations focus on key markers of facial health and harmony. They do not rate attractiveness. There's foundational and more advanced recommendations, and all recommendations are provided for informational purposes. So with that being said, we're going to see my before and what they believe is my aesthetic potential. All right, here we go. Man, that's looking pretty rough, guys. But anyways, before, this was me when I took my picture and I submitted it to QOVES. And they took a look at me at that point in time. That was what, like 20 days ago? And they said, all right, here's this dude. We believe this is his aesthetic potential based on cephalometric values. I'm not feeling it, guys. I'm not feeling it, man. I like the jaw. The jaw looks good. And looking at this, basically, I'll tell you, lose weight, get a skincare routine. All right. They're saying, hey, you want your hair, make it a bit more curly, get rid of the grays. I love my grays. That's just me. Tidy up the eyebrows, skincare routine, but point out designing before after, all right? To help you achieve your aesthetic potential. Man, just reading that. I hope that's not my aesthetic potential, but I digress here. It's designed to be objective. So their analysis is designed to be objective. I don't know, man. No. Taking a look at that after, it's too polished. It's too clean, man. Let's just get on with the report. So this is pretty cool. They use a radar map, all the features on your face, and they say, all right, here are your values. And I'm going to zoom in on this. All right, so here are your values. You see the darker blue one? And here are the client or the projected values, all right? So the before and after, which is interesting because just looking at this, theoretically, you should be able to fill up a radar map, okay? So looking at this, I see it as, okay, I can never achieve true Adam, so to speak, right? I can't be a Giga Chat or anything. I can be a bit better though, and it looks like my best area to improve is really the jaw and the skin. But again, this is pretty neat to see. Hair recommendations, all right, before and after. Some paragraphs there. They do say, in my case, I'm at a Norwood 2. I would agree, but I'm not here. So I'm not going to do anything about that. It's interesting because they say, hey, you know what? If you get shorter curls, you groom it a bit. And I don't like using product, but it is Florida. It's hot and humid over here. My hair does take a beating. It is pretty coarse. And this picture in particular, when I took it, man, I was already working out that morning. My hair was just beat up, but still they're saying, and they say this in every page to give you a summary. All right, groom, consistent color maintenance. If you do that, you can reinforce a more polished masculine presentation. Eye recommendations. So they're saying, you know what? Your eyebrows, pluck them. I'm not touching my eyebrows. This is too refined. I don't like it. And the eyelashes. There's no non-surgical solutions that we would recommend, okay? And let's take a look at this here in my eyes. Oh man, my negative calcium eyes, that's pretty rough. What are they saying here? They want me to use whitening eye drops on busy days to whiten my eyes. That's interesting. I'm not going to do it, but the under eyes, they're saying, hey, you know what? Use some sun protection or something. Light hyaluronic acid serum. Come here, mister. And they're saying, all right, for your summary, I know, okay, hey, good boy. For your summary, you could basically improve your gaze. Nose recommendations, here's my side profile. And this is important because I did notice this when I downloaded my surgical report. There are no non-surgical solutions that we would recommend for the subject's nose. And I agree, I don't think I need a rhinoplasty. And yet, for the surgical report, they recommend a rhinoplasty. You see, so with any sort of, I know, hey, handsome, oh. With any sort of Looksmaxxing analysis you do, always take it with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, if they're using AI or if you have an expert taking a look at it, it's all subjective, all right? As long as you understand where you're at and where you would like to go and you approach it from a rational standpoint and with a grain of salt, you're going to be all right. Anyway, so let's finish up this protocol report before we take a look at the surgical recommendations. So yeah, don't touch the nose. Yeah. Cheek recommendations, I could tell you, they basically say, hey, lose some weight, dude. Lose some weight, fatty. Yeah, reducing overall body fat. And I'll do that when I'm done with my creatine phase. Creatine maxing at the moment for my kettlebells. I think I'm about done though. My wrist guy, stress, it keeps beating me up. My days of heavy kettlebell swinging is probably over, but it's all good, man. That's life. But yeah, you could take a look at it. I like how they use these lines here, before and after. So leaner cheeks, tidy up the beard. And the beard and the eyebrows is too polished for me. Jaw recommendations, before and after. And what do they say here for the summary? By modestly widening the base with filler. That's interesting. So you see some sort of filler, right? I'm not going to do that shit. No fillers on my face, man. But they do say, hey, dude, again, lose some weight, fat boy. Slim your cheeks and your jaw. What else we got? Lip recommendations. We're almost done with this report. And this is interesting because I've never noticed this report, but when they isolated my lips, I have this weird, you see that? I don't know what that's about there. Maybe that explains my lisp. Who knows? But they say, all right, just use some moisture care. Chin recommendations, all right, before and after. Just gonna go to the summary. Discreet chin filler. Man, that's crazy. I don't think I need any fillers. I'm not gonna get any fillers. Yours might say, hey, get some fillers, it might not. Skin recommendations, and I think this is actually my favorite page because it puts my before and after side by side, and it is kind of neat to see. It is kind of neat to see. So, yeah, skincare protocol, and that's one of my biggest weaknesses. I don't spend as much time as I should on my skin. You can see that with blemishes. But they give me a skincare protocol before and after. And it's interesting. I don't like cleaning up the beard. I think it actually looks good when it's a bit messy like that. Defineness, at least in my eyes. I know I've seen some dudes who they're able to pull it off. All right, they're saying, hey, dude, some sun protection, active serums, smooth your skin. Neck recommendations, and we're almost done here. Basically, make it a bit thicker, all right, more masculine, and clean up the beard, which I've always struggled with this because my beard will come down to like right here. I kid you not. And when I trim this, right, I get like razor bumps on my neck, but they say, hey man, you know what? Get a stronger neck, no straight beard growth. Ear recommendations. I was surprised to see this in here. I never look at people's ears, right? I've never been really, I don't even think about my ears. So when I saw this, I didn't even know they were ear surgical solutions. If you're self-conscious about your ears, you're fine. I promise you guys, no one's thinking about your ears. But in my case, they say, hey man, it's fine. Just, routine hair care, clean it up. But if you do this and there's some sort of ear surgery, unless you need it to hear better or something, don't touch it, man. Don't. Your ears are fine. Again, I was just surprised to see that one about the ear. And closing recommendations. So this is my aesthetic protocol. Pretty comprehensive. I am skeptical of my ideal aesthetic potential, but they do make some good points, all right? I will share this. Now, let's go ahead and go to the surgical report. And again, I already noted the inconsistency about my aesthetic protocol saying, hey, your nose is fine, and they're saying here, get a rhinoplasty. But, hey, mister, come on. The dogs want to go outside. Hey. Good boys. Go on. All right, what am I looking at here? This is 21 pages, aesthetic report. Thought this was my surgical report. Let me close this real fast and just make sure I have the right report here. Let me download the PDF. All right, so let's just call it aesthetic report. All good. So it looks like the second page is 21 pages, so it's longer, but some policies, glossary. Oh, wow. They really got to keep an eye on the dogs. They really went all out here, huh? And it's my first time looking at this, so I'm not sure what to expect, but I'll also share this, all right? This is pretty, wow. Okay, introduction. Nope, there's that cephalometric variability stuff again. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm not having a good feeling about this. So let's say cephalometric point of view and determining the ideal cephalometric values and how they correspond to 1 out of 10 scale of rated attractiveness. Wow, this is a lot here. So side profile morph, facial proportions, orbital and periocular. Orbital is like eye stuff, right? Dental facial. All right, there's limitations. Cephalometric variability. Wow, look at these measurements. Let's take a look at this. So test for facial averageness. All right, so reference, the subject, the difference, mental labio, nasal fascial. Ah, the pug is probably the pool. I'm kind of nervous about that. Give me a second here, guys, all right? All right, good boys. Come on. Oh, here you go. Good boy. I'm proud of you guys. Yeah. All right, good boy. So I'll walk you guys into bed, okay? All right, where were we at? Okay, so yeah, the cephalometric variability. So it looks like they have an ideal here, the reference column, and this is where I'm at. The upper face, I'm 20% greater. I'm just trying to find the biggest ones to stand out. And total convexity, 20%. Very interesting. Cephalometric averageness, so unedited. And I'm not going to spend too much time reading this. And oh my gosh, What is that? Oh man. Jeez. That's wild. That looks uncanny. It looks fake. I'm not gonna be able to achieve this unless like I go all out with Looksmaxxing, but man. Like that's extreme. Gosh. Make me look like a killer in the bottom one. They said, all right, we're gonna chatify this guy. All right. Yeah, some wow, okay. So get rid of the double chin, lose some weight, facial proportions. This is pretty comprehensive. Bizygomatic, bitemporal. I'll read this another time, but yeah, this is very in depth. Okay, facial proportions. Wow, man, they went to town here. This is pretty neat to see, ain't it? What do we got here? Left symmetry. All right, and this is, and I did scroll through that real fast, guys. Let me go back real fast. So this is facial proportions. Yeah, so the next few pages are facial proportions, width to height, transverse and vertical proportions, and facial symmetry. And it looks like they basically took the left side of my face and duplicated it. This is the right side of my face and duplicated it. Gosh, I don't like either duplication, but it's all good. All right, more facial proportions. And wow, this is really intense. Orbital imperial couloir regions. Okay. This is going to move for a second. I was trying to charge this, but it overheated. What else we got here? Canthal tilt. What am I? Okay, so yeah, you can see I have a negative canthal tilt. That's the ideal, but I'm not going to touch my eyes, man. I'm not. And a matter of fact, I'd recommend shit. I don't care how bad your canthal tilt is. If it's negative, don't just deal with it, man. You only have two eyes, guys, and gals, right? And so, what are they saying here? I mean, I'm going to share this. You guys can read it for yourself. But my point is, I've heard horror stories about trying to fix the eyes for surgeries. Just deal with it, man. I promise you, a negative canthal tilt is not the worst thing in the world. Dental facial assessment. Just really in-depth stuff. What else we got going on here? I'm trying to go through this pretty fast. The video is getting pretty long. My device is overheating. The doggos want to walk. But it's pretty neat. Dental facial, molar prominence, lip assessment. So the surgical report so far is, here's everything we're calling out from a scientific perspective of ratios and things. And here are the studies to back it up, it looks like. Yeah, Polwar's molar analysis, cheek prominence projects about 12 millimeters from the facial plane. That's, okay. I was hoping they would have some summaries here, right? Like in the aesthetic protocol, every page has summaries. Because this is a lot of read and take in without a summary. What else we got here? My smile. Dental midline. Tooth display is generous. Fine detailing. Rotate units. Yep, all right. Jaw. All right. Dental facial assessment. What are they saying here? The jaw angle can be analyzed for better harmony. It's a lot of paragraphs so far. Okay, show favorable definition. Side profile. All right, I guess I'll read the closing recommendations here. So taken as a whole, the subject presents a strongly masculine, oblong face with dense, low-set brows, a straight, robust nose, Full yet structurally firm lips, a lean U-shaped jaw and a muscular neck, symmetry is high. All right, so the key proportional theme is vertical dominance for moderate width. Okay. All right. Just a bunch of references. So what? I guess I am going to have to read that summary. Mid-face projection is good. Solid under eye support. You may consider a consultation for qualified medical professional to discuss structured rhinoplasty aimed at refining rather than radically changing the nose. I'm not touching my nose. The aesthetic protocol said I need one. I know I don't need one. But what else are they saying here? Discuss lower facial structural options such as sliding genioplasty, jaw angle implants, or mandibular contouring, and segmental fat reduction. All right. I guess that's a whole report, right? The rest are just recommendations. Appendix. All right. Yeah, some angles. Let me go back. I guess this was the before and the after, right? Where was it at? Yeah, I guess this is... All right, this was my side profile like 3 weeks ago, and this is me going Giga Chad, I guess. I like the jaw a lot. And all right, so the jaw, I'll tidy up the jaw. I'm not touching my hair. But anyways, that's my surgical report. Very, very dense and a lot of information to take in. I'll share it so you guys could check it out. I imagine if you do this, your report will be different, but this again gives you an idea of what to expect. It's pretty well. This reminds me too when I see BP channels. It always shows that one guy's jaw morph, right? He's like a Reese's chin and same deal. Anyways, interesting to read. Let's take a look at the hairstyle suggestions. I've also not seen this. What? Oh, this is going to be fun. All right, what do we got going on here? Am I able to download this? All right. And I'm trying to zoom in. I apologize. All right, there we go. All right, 175%. So before, after. Ugh. It's interesting because my before does have the hair already. And that's not how it was, right? So this is wrong. Anyways, before and after. Oh, gosh. The hair is awful. I hate it, man. And after. Well. Okay, so what is this hairstyle? I don't just, that's their choice. All right, the side part. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to scroll down to always the side part. Oh gosh, I've never had my hair like that. I can't pull it off. I can't, man. Kind of has that Don Draper vibe to it, does it not? Or Peter Campbell. I think it was Peter Campbell from Mad Men who had this. What else we got here? Interesting. I don't know. I've never liked short hair. It reminds me of kind of look like my dad, which is weird. He somehow found my YouTube channel. He's gonna be like, "What the hell do you mean by that?" Don't mean anything, Dad. I just, when I get short hair, I just feel like I look like you. Anyway, so this one's interesting. It's kind of cool to see that, right? What else we got going on here? Wow, this is actually my favorite one. My hair will never look like that, by the way, but I think this is the best one here. Right? I think that one is the best. Not whatever this is over here. Their choice. If I could, let me tell you right now, man, I would get this one in a heartbeat if I could do that. Look at that. That to me is a Chad. That looks good. Wow, I like that. It's not going to happen. My hair will never get like that. It's very fro-like. But I like that one, man. That's in another life, maybe. It's cool to see. This one, I don't know. I actually think this is the second best one. But anyways, it is cool to see the before and after, right? It looks like this is all this. Oh. I don't know. It's interesting to see this because I've normally stuck to the same stuff when it comes to my hair, right? I should pay more attention to my hair, but I wish they kept the grays, man. I'm proud of my grays, and I'm only going to keep getting them as I get older. I actually think this is the second best one. So the hair, I know, guys. All right. All right, let me wrap this up. The dogs want to go for their walk, and that actually is the end of it. So they recommend this one. I actually think this is one of the worst ones. My opinion, first, that one looks good. Then this one. And then, oh, one of these. I don't like this one. I'm surprised they recommend that. Someone was probably laughing their asses off when they saw this. And I hope there was a few people who took a look at this and they said, all right, is this really what we want to recommend, man? And somebody said, nah, let's hold off. Let's revisit this. Somebody else said, no, we're going to send this shit to the guy right now, man. I don't know. But I don't like this one here. So, all that being said, you do get a lot of information when you go with the QOVES subscription. If you pay for the whole package, you get an aesthetic protocol. You also get a surgical report and hairstyle suggestions. So I showed you everything as it relates to me, a lot of stuff to take in, but I will share everything again. So that way, if you're considering this for yourself, you can have an idea of what to expect. And yeah, the only other thing I want to say is when it comes to any sort of surgical recommendation, please get more than one opinion. All right, I've already done a lot of plastic surgery, Looksmaxxing stuff in the past, and it doesn't dramatically change your life. It really doesn't, all right? You got to deal with recovery. There's always a chance it could go wrong, and etc. So, yeah, this was interesting. I recommend it. Your results may vary, but I hope you found this insightful and useful. So, good luck, beautiful people.